What's up, guys? I'm Dylan Mathiot, and this is Blue Eyes White Dude. And today we're going to be talking about 10 cards that I think Master Duel should ban in their very first ever ban list change. Because in Master Duel, there are tons of different cards that are legal that should just not be. Like, come on, guys. It should be illegal to own these cards in real life, too. Just like,
I'm calling the cops on you, bro. That's fucked up.
And yeah, let's jump into the first one.
The first card on the list, and probably one of the more obvious picks, is Imperial Order, which reads, negate all spell effects on the field. Once per turn, during the standby phase, you must pay 700 life points. This is not optional, or this card is destroyed. When the order is Imperial, am I right? This card is just so fucking degenerate that it was once banned in the TCG, eroded, came back, and was still too powerful to come back, so was banned very recently again. In Master Duel, this pain-in-the-ass floodgate is still legal at 1 copy for some ungodly reason. I don't really have to convince most Yu-Gi-Oh players that this card needs the ban hammer on the inevitable first Forbidden and Limited list change of the game. And our second spot on the list is Maxx, which reads, during either player's turn, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. This turn, each time your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, immediately draw 1 card. You can only use 1 Maxx per turn. Now, while we're stating the obvious here with Imperial Order, let's talk about everyone's favorite hand trap, he said sarcastically. There's a reason it's banned in the TCG, although in the OCG, it's completely legal at 3, just like in Master Duel. Yeah, this card is not even limited in any way in the game, so you could just run 3 copies. Granted, you can only use 1 per turn, but that's pretty much all you're gonna need if your opponent combos the fuck off, you know what I'm saying? Being able to draw close to half your deck in 1 turn against some players is just straight up bonkers, and if your opponent just does nothing on their turn to avoid you drawing cards, you essentially just skipped their turn. So you either get crazy advantage, or your opponent just doesn't set up a board. So either way, you pretty much won that duel. If you get Maxx, you better have the Ash Blossom for it, or you better be going for lethal, or you're DONE.
Fucked.
The third one on our list is Crystron Halqifibrax, which reads, if this card is link summoned, you can special summon 1 level 3 or lower tuner from your hand or deck in defense position, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. During your opponent's main or battle phase, quick effect, you can banish this card. Special summon 1 tuner synchro monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a synchro summon. You can only use each effect of Crystron Halqifibrax once per turn. Now, this card is not as obvious as the previous 2. Many people think this card isn't powerful enough to be straight up banned, but others, like myself, find themselves on the end of, yeah, it probably should be gone from the game. Even at 1 copy in Master Duel, it still can just extend a combo for some crazy end boards that are very difficult to break for the person going second. This honorary synchro monster is just one of the cards on this list that I'm kinda iffy about, but ultimately think should go away. And speaking of ultimate, our 4th spot on the list is Herald of Ultimateness, which reads, you can ritual summon this card with Oracle of the Herald, must be ritual summoned. When your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters, or activates a spell or trap card, or a monster effect, quick effect, you can send 1 fairy monster from your hand to the graveyard, negate the special summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Damn, this card is kinda nuts, don't you think? Not a once per turn on the negate effect, so as long as you can get fairies in your hand, you can essentially negate everything your opponent tries to do on their turn. And with Drytron being in the top tier echelon of decks right now in Master Duel, it's incredibly fucking easy to get this guy out. Pair it with Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, being able to dump an Eva to the grave, which just adds 2 more fairies to your hand. Things get real degenerate real fast. And while we were talking about the Drytron degeneracy, halfway through our list is Eva, which reads, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish up to 2 other light fairy monsters from your field and or graveyard. Add the same number of level 2 or lower light fairy monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, except Eva. you can only use this effect of Eva once per turn. Yeah, this card is also a big problem in the Drytron deck. Honestly, if this card just got banned, I don't think Ultimateness would need to go. Maybe even vice versa, but I still think this card has more potential to be broken in the future fairy decks. It triggers its effect no matter how it's sent to the graveyard, just like another broken card, Dandelion. This card is banned in the TCG very recently though, and I think Master Duel should follow suit. The next card on the list is That Grass Looks Greener, which reads, if you have more cards in your deck than your opponent does, send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard so you have the same number of cards in the deck as your opponent. Let's just get away from cards that I absolutely fucking hate and go more lighthearted with this extremely busted but fun to play spell card. Essentially, if you play a 60 card deck and your opponent plays the minimum of 40, you can mill a ton of cards, and with how graveyard-centric modern meta decks can be, you can get some nutty advantage with just one grass activation. And this card is unlimited in Master Duel. It's banned in the TCG and is one of the few cards banned in Duel Links, which I'm even surprised they added it to that game in the first place, even if deck sizes are much different there. I actually just really love playing this card in zombies and in Lightsworn decks, and is one of my favorite banned cards, at least in the TCG, of all time, which you can actually check out the card above for my video on my favorite banned cards after you're finished watching this video, of course. Gotta get that watch time up, you know what I'm saying, dog? And at number 7 on our list is Simorgh, Bird of Sovereignty, which reads, cannot be used as link material. Your opponent cannot target this card or a winged beast monster or monsters this card points to with card effects. If this card would be destroyed by battle, you can destroy one other Simorgh card you control instead. During the end phase, you can special summon one winged beast monster from your hand or deck with a level equal to or lower than the total number of unused spell and trap zones on the field. You can only use this effect of Simorgh, Bird of Sovereignty, once per turn. You've probably been wondering where my hits for Luralisk Tri-Brigade are. Well, here you go. This card just recently got banned in the TCG, and Master Duel needs to get rid of this card as well, in my opinion. It sets up a board of floodgates like the Wind Barrier statue and negates like Mist Valley Apex Avian. It's not even at the end of this card's controller's turn, but every turn that the card can get a guy out. It's super easy to make in a Luralisk Tri-Brigade deck, and is probably the most problematic card in that deck, even more than some of the cards in the actual archetypes. The next card on our list is Skill Drain, which reads, activate by paying 1,000 life points. Negate the effects of all face-up monsters while they are face-up on the field, but their effects can still be activated. Back to those stupid floodgate continuous traps. This one is not as degenerate as Imperial Order, but is the fucking worst to play against when your back row removal is sparse. And in Master Duel, there are not matches, only single duels, so you can't side into said removal in the next duel. That's why I always try to have some in every deck that I play, like Twin Twisters. This card, just like Halqifibrax, is one of those cards on the list that I'm not 100% sure should be banned, but still err on the side of caution. The 9th spot on our list is Zoodiac Drident, which reads, once per turn, you can also XZ summon Zoodiac Drident by using one Zoodiac monster you control with a different name as XZ's material. If you used an XZ's monster, any XZ's material attached to it also become XZ's material on this card. This card gains attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of all Zoodiac monsters attached to it as materials. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach one XZ's material from this card, then target one face-up card on the field, destroy it. The Zoodiac engine is kinda crazy if you stop to think about it. One card XZ's with some very powerful monsters to go into, like this one, and another card that actually is banned in Master Duel, Zoodiac Broadbull. This card is kinda busted and was banned twice in the TCG due to it being too powerful once it came back. Just the Zoo engine in general actually facilitates the final card on this list. The last card on our list is Divine Arsenal AA-ZEUS Sky Thunder, which reads, once per turn, if an XZ's monster battled this turn, you can also XZ summon Divine Arsenal AA-ZEUS Sky Thunder by using one XZ's monster you control as material. Transfer its materials to this card. Quick effect, you could detach 2 materials from this card. Send all other cards from the field to the graveyard. Once per turn, if another card or cards you control is destroyed by battle, or an opponent's card effect, you can attach one card from your hand, deck, or extra deck to this card as material. This card, like I said, with the Zoodiac engine, is essentially a one-card quick effect board wipe. Its board wipe effect is not even once per turn, so if you can get a whole bunch of material, you can try again if your opponent dodges the first one somehow. The icing on this cake is that you can replenish its materials if another card on your side of the field is destroyed basically in any way. And the way this card removes other cards is not by destroying them, but by sending them to the graveyard, which is a distinct difference, effectively avoiding destruction-based effects your opponent may have. This card is just too easy to get out, and even at limited in Master Duel should probably be removed from the game, at least in my opinion.
That's it for my time, guys. Remember to like the video, subscribe if you are new here to become a scrub-scriber, and make sure to comment down below what cards you think Master Duel should ban, or if you think that the ones that I think they should ban are wrong. A lot of them are very obviously cards that should be banned, like Maxx, Imperial Order, shit like that. But there's definitely probably others that I didn't think about, or the ones that I did say you might not agree with if you're more of a competitive player than I am. I'll see you guys next time.